Hello everyone, in this video, I'll be translating and summarizing the latest Urdu broadcast by Moeed Pirzada to make it accessible for our English-speaking audience. Let's go through the key developments and insights in Moeed Pirzada's words. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif, or rather you could say Pakistan's Army Chief General Asim Munir, Field Marshal General Asim Munir and their Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif had a meeting with the President of the United States Donald Trump and his team on September 26th. The meeting in Washington lasted 1 hour and 20 minutes. It has now been about 24 hours or a few hours more than that since then. The interesting thing is that even after these 24 hours, or as you say after 28 hours, there has been no communication, no press release, no readout issued by the US government, either from the US Department of State or the White House, regarding this meeting. We do not know if something will happen tomorrow morning. But until now, from the US government side, no official communication, press release or readout has been issued about this 1 hour and 20 minutes meeting between Shahbaz Sharif and the Army Chief. The Pakistani media has covered it. Indian media has also covered it, somewhat critically. Pakistani newspapers, TV channels and websites have extensively covered it. There is a lot of enthusiasm and excitement, but all the claims related to the meeting, what was discussed and the pictures issued, such as those featuring Marco Rubio, who is making very strong statements, are coming from Pakistan's side only. No statement from the American government has been issued. Neither the American government nor major American newspapers have covered this development at all. We know this was an official meeting, since important Pakistani personalities met the US president and his team, but it was not a state visit. As you have seen, Michael Kugelman, an American think tanker, justified this on Twitter, saying it was neither a state visit nor was any extraordinary protocol given. According to him, Shahbaz Sharif was received at Andrews Air Base by a relatively junior military officer given normal protocol vehicles. I spoke to many Pakistanis yesterday, and the impression was that no extraordinary protocol was given. So this was not a state visit, nor an extraordinary protocol. The US government, Department of State or White House did not issue any official communication or readout, which is very surprising. So what was this basically? It is clear now that the evidence, apart from protocol, is that Shahbaz Sharif was received by vehicles at Andrews Air Base. Donald Trump praised General Asim Munir and Shahbaz Sharif in front of his team and media, saying the Pakistan Prime Minister is a very good guy, and his Field Marshal is a great guy. Trump waited for a long time for this meeting. It turns out that Shahbaz Sharif and Asim Munir waited for about an hour while Trump was wrapping up his previous meeting with his cabinet. Looking at all this, it seems Trump was in no big hurry for this meeting. According to certain analysts, Trump knew this was an on-request, on-demand meeting intended to generate optics, a photo opportunity for the Pakistani team's public relations and to strengthen their grip on Pakistani politics. So Trump made them wait an hour. I have many points on this, let me share them gradually. Pakistan claims that during the meeting, regional issues, strategic issues, mutual interests, economic investment, and trade matters were discussed. As I said, all claims are coming from Pakistan's side. Of course, some of these discussions probably happened, but we don't know the full details. One problem is that Trump loves the media. Whenever he meets someone, he calls the media, holds press conferences, comments, and enjoys it. But this meeting was totally silent. The American and international media were not admitted. Trump did not hold any joint press conference or comment on the meeting, which raises the question, what actually happened? Pakistan claims in this meeting that they requested the US to invest in Pakistan in agriculture, mining, information technology, and other areas. What is interesting is that people have started analyzing that General Asim Munir arranged this meeting for Shahbaz Sharif. According to barrister Shehzad Akbar in the UK, who I recently spoke with, the analysis is that after this meeting, Shahbaz Sharif will formally and without hesitation issue a notification for a new 5-year term for General Asim Munir from November 2025 to November 2030, meaning Asim Munir will again be the master of Pakistan's black and white, that is, military leadership. Shehzad Akbar doubts Shahbaz Sharif's future looks very safe. I can't assess this fully because the Sharif family and Asim Munir seem close, but in a discussion I recorded with Shehzad Akbar and Haider Mehdi, which I will release soon on JBS, Akbar believes this government of Shahbaz Sharif is very weak and incompetent. Once Asim Munir strengthens his position after November 2025, he will first get rid of Shahbaz Sharif. Who will come next is unclear. Haider Mehdi and Shehzad Akbar's discussion is serious and substantive, so please watch it when released. Haider Mehdi says the key thing to watch is what Donald Trump wants from Pakistan and its regime through this meeting. Haider Mehdi believes three things are very important. First, progress in the Middle East, especially the Abraham Accords, which involve Saudi Arabia and other major Muslim countries, Pakistan, Indonesia, Malaysia, Bangladesh, where recognizing Israel is a process. This is a major demand or expectation from Donald Trump. Second, the threat to Pakistan's nuclear posture. Third, pressure on Pakistan to pull back from China. I think the Abraham Accords are Trump's main requirement. Trump also wants to signal to India that the US can elevate Pakistan's importance and influence, which might pressure India. It's possible that to embarrass India and fool people inside Pakistan, Trump or his Secretary of State may soon issue statements about Kashmir saying the Kashmir issue needs resolution with the United Nations ready to play a role. However, I disagree with Haider Mehdi on one point. Pakistan's military, especially General Asim and other decision-makers, will not compromise on Pakistan's nuclear posture. Their importance, leverage and negotiation ability in front of the world, the West, the Middle East, Saudi Arabia, India, Bangladesh and China, is based on their nuclear posture. So the military cannot compromise on this. Also, I think pulling back from China is not that easy because Pakistan's military depends heavily on China. About 80% of their equipment and weapons come from China. This brings us back to the Pakistan-Saudi pact. You might have seen claims in Pakistan that Pakistan is boldly defending the sanctity of Az-Muqaddas, that is, Jerusalem, with even Imran Khan making statements about it. Pakistan has signaled to the United States and Israel that its military will enter Saudi Arabia and defend Saudi Arabia against Israeli attacks. Now just think about this for a moment. After challenging the United States and Israel, Pakistan's Army Chief and Prime Minister Shahbaz Sharif come to the United States, receive red carpet treatment, undertake official or unofficial visits, and have, well, a honeymoon-like meeting. If Pakistan is really challenging the United States and Israel with Saudi Arabia, would the United States give them such a protocol and red carpet treatment, especially since the United States has 19 bases in the Middle East? And Saudi Arabia has bought about $300 billion worth of arms from the United States in the past 7 to 8 years. Saudi Arabia, the UAE and Qatar have committed about $3 trillion in defense agreements and investments in the United States after Trump's visit. Yet inside Pakistan, the narrative is that Pakistan is showing defiance to the United States and Israel. This fact reflects the threat perceived by Saudi Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman and his government. As the Abraham Accords progress in the coming weeks or months, and news of meetings comes out, there may be unrest inside Saudi Arabia, especially in eastern Saudi Arabia and border areas with Yemen. Geographically and culturally, Saudi Arabia and Yemen are linked and honestly can't be seen as separate. Politics inside Saudi Arabia affects Yemen and vice versa. And if there is noise, turbulence arises after the Abraham Accord, with Iran trying to play a role in it. It creates problems, which is always a threat in the minds of the Saudis. So, the Pakistani army units can prove very helpful in this. There is also a risk that if any such confrontation occurs, maybe the Saudi forces cannot be fully trusted. Now, in this regard, you see that some Pakistani units are reported to have already been dispatched to Saudi Arabia. General Asim has made 2 or 3 new commands and decisions about which there is some news. This is single-source information, so there may be slight inaccuracies, but I have this written down, and I am sharing it with you. According to the information coming from within the Pakistan Army, General Asim is making some very important decisions. He is raising a new command and creating a 4-star vacancy. I will also share details about this with you. This 4-star vacancy will be for the Vice Chief of Army Staff. According to my information, there are 3 names under consideration for this post. As I said, there might be a little mistake, as this is a single-person source news from Pakistan Army sources. The 3 names under consideration are, first, Lieutenant General Amir Raza, who himself is an officer training scheme officer, currently Chief of General Staff in Rawalpindi and an important position holder of the Corps. Second, Lieutenant General Shahid Imtiaz, also an officer training scheme officer, an infantryman, currently Corps Commander of 10 Corps Rawalpindi, which is typically held by someone whom the Army Chief trusts deeply. Third, Lieutenant General Fayaz Hussain Shah, a Pakistan military service officer, not OTS from Sindh Infantry, currently Corps Commander Lahore, known as CC4. Another change happening is related to Chairman Joint Chiefs of Staff, General Shahid Shamshad Mirza, who is supposed to retire after completing 3 years on November 29, 2025. In reality, he should have become Army Chief in 2022. Now, for his replacement, 3 names are under consideration, 2 of which you have already heard. Lieutenant General Fayaz Hussain, Corps Commander Lahore, Lieutenant General Inam Haider Malik, who is from PMA, currently heading the National Disaster Management Authority and from Corps of Engineers, and Lieutenant General Amir Raza, currently Chief of General Staff. Now, concerning the Middle East, because the talk was about the Abraham Accord and the Saudi-Pakistan Pact, General Asim has made some important decisions according to military sources. These decisions include creating 4 more vacancies related to the Middle East, including a 3-star vacancy, that is, a Lieutenant General position, to interact with the United States Central Command for facilitating Admiral Cooper, the new head, who replaced Michael Correa around June or July. A 3-star Lieutenant General position is being created to maintain continuous liaison with him. Once again, I ask you to consider this question. Pakistan is being reported as having defied Israel and the United States, and is on the battlefield for Saudi Arabia's defense against Israel. So, when you look at all these developments and connect the dots a little, you'll realize you're being lied to and misinformed. The truth is that no one has complete control, but broadly, the actual analysis of the situation is what I am sharing with you. Regarding the Pakistan-Saudi Defense Pact, a 3-star position will be created, permanently based in Riyadh, for effective coordination between Pakistani units and the Saudis. Another 3-star naval officer will be stationed to coordinate with the United States commander in Bahrain, where the United States 5th Fleet is stationed in Manama. To coordinate with them, a 2-star Air Force officer, that is, an Air Vice Marshal or Vice Marshal, will be stationed at Al Udeid Air Base in Doha, Qatar. These 4 senior positions will become functional by April 2026. We are now at the end of September, so after about 7 months, these positions will be operational. All this posturing, details of which I shared with you earlier, fits into a larger plan. You may recall my earlier discussions with Barrister Shahzad Akbar and Haider Mehdi. Regarding Israeli Defense Forces, they are now mapping out Gaza, meaning they have almost taken control of Gaza city center, or will do so in the next 48 to 72 hours. In the next 7 to 10 days, Israeli forces are expected to have full control over Gaza. Donald Trump met with 8 Muslim leaders, including Pakistan's Shahbaz Sharif quietly sitting there. Trump asked 2 fundamental things. 1, to form a Muslim-Arab stabilization force in Gaza to maintain Islamic control. I don't know why the word Islamic is used. And obviously they asked for money. This is why Scott Bennett, US Secretary of Treasury, was also present at the meeting with the 8 Muslim heads of state. They all accepted Donald Trump's requests and later publicly said that Donald Trump could find solutions, calling him a great leader. So an agreement has been reached on these points. The big picture means reconstruction will start very soon in Gaza, with money coming from Saudi Arabia, the UAE, Qatar and others. An Arab force will be formed. Soon, beautiful images will come from Gaza instead of tragedy and destruction. You will see cleaning up, rubble being removed, construction happening, children smiling and being fed. American and European doctors, especially lady doctors and nurses, may also appear there. Some soldiers will be giving children flowers and candies. This entire narrative and imagery will change worldwide, especially for the gullible people in Muslim countries who are kept under control and not allowed to grow intellectually. They will be told how things are rapidly improving. On Monday, Donald Trump is scheduled to meet Prime Minister Netanyahu, who recently gave a major speech that was boycotted by most countries at the UN General Assembly. In that speech, Netanyahu heavily criticized Europe, but did not mention annexing the West Bank. Previously, he and his cabinet members had indicated plans to annex the West Bank, but just 24 hours ago, the US president categorically stated to reporters that annexation of the West Bank is not possible or acceptable. When asked if he had discussed it with the National Security Council or the House, he said it doesn't matter. Annexation is not possible. Much has already happened, but this will not be accepted. I have also spoken to Netanyahu, and on Monday, after their meeting, there will be a drama or a cover-up. You will see Netanyahu, who had threatened annexation of the West Bank, retreat from that position. Israel can't annex the West Bank anyway, because if Israel annexes the West Bank, then there will be no possibility of the Abraham Accord. Netanyahu, Arabs, America, Donald Trump and the Republican Party all want the Abraham Accord because if progress happens on the Abraham Accord, Donald Trump's case for the Nobel Peace Prize will strengthen. It will become his legacy that he ended the Arab-Israeli conflict. The Republican Party wants the Abraham Accord because they need strong financial and political support from the Jewish lobby and Christian evangelicals for the tough midterm elections in 2026. If the Abraham Accord happens, it will be shown as a victory before Christian evangelicals and the Jewish lobby, so both groups strongly need it. This is the larger picture into which all current developments in Pakistan fit. Pakistan's generals, led by Asim Munir and the current regime, are playing a role in facilitating this larger scheme. Obviously, discussing such things inside Pakistan openly is not possible. Now, about Iran. The snapback mechanism that Russia and China proposed in the last 24 to 48 hours at the UN Security Council aimed to delay European snapback sanctions initiated by the UK, France and Germany for 6 months. But the vote failed because Russia and China did not get the required 9 votes, though no veto was used. So the proposal failed. Now these snapback sanctions on Iran will be applied on Saturday night at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, presumably by Russia or, well, perhaps against Russia. The sentence is a bit unclear, but sanctions on Iran will be applied. Iran is furious, but there is a developing story that Iran and Russia have made a $25 billion deal. According to this deal, Russia will establish 4 nuclear reactors in Iran. Another unconfirmed report from sources watching Iran says that Iran has handed over all its enriched uranium to Russia. I have not seen this in print but have heard it verbally. So, in conclusion, this is a well-researched explanation of the current geopolitical and military situation. After this, look at Pakistan's newspapers, TV and news. They are telling a completely different story. That a new, strong relationship has started between Pakistan and America, which is being celebrated excessively. There is no official statement or position. It is just a PR opportunity. You can connect the dots yourself and understand what is actually happening. That wraps up our translation of Moeed Pirzada's video. I hope this English version helped you understand his message better. Please like, share and subscribe to Awami Lens to help our community grow. Don't forget to leave a comment below and let me know what you thought of this effort.